Andrew, you are here tonight because you are part in another huge TV show, Black Mirror. So your one is called Smithereens.
Yeah.
So now you can't tell us much about it, but you can tell us something about it.
It's such a tyranny. I'm actually quite relieved that it's out because, you know, the whole thing is shrouded in a huge amount of mystery. They don't tell you anything because there's 3 episodes and even on set, you know,
But they're individual episodes.
Individual episodes,
Yeah.
and there's like entirely different stories and completely different crews. And so I'd ask the producers, so, you know, I hear Miley Cyrus might be in one of these, which she is, I've discovered. And they just like, don't tell you anything. And so, and then after it's over, they say, do not tell anybody. So you're like, well, can I tell my mom? And I did tell my mom. and last week actually, I had to, you know, talk to people, journalists on the phone. And, I was talking to this guy from The Guardian or somewhere, and he was like, "So, what can you tell me about?" And I didn't see it. I just think that after Sherlock, I thought, because it was so plot-driven, are you dead? Is Sherlock dead? Is anybody? Am I dead? Oh, everybody's dead. And I just thought the best thing to do is just not see it, and then you can't give the game away. So I didn't watch it. And so this journalist was ringing me up, and he was like, "So, what can you tell me about the show?" And I was like, it's quite Black Mirror-y. He was like, all right. He goes, have you seen this? And I was like, no. And he was like, and I said, have you seen it? And he said, no. I was like, such an awkward interview. And I was like, you're gonna watch Love Island? Or... And then at the end of it, he goes, so could you say with any degree of confidence that you're even in this? It's kind of like,
am I?
Actually.
But that's quite Black Mirror if you're questioning whether you're
maybe
in
I'm
it.
not.
Yes. Yeah. I can tell you he is. I saw it last night. You're terrific in it. You're so good in it. So essentially, you are... I'll tell you. You are... you're not an Uber driver, but you're something like an Uber driver.
Yeah, like an Uber driver, yeah.
And technology has kind of driven you to the edge.
Yeah, it's a sort of a thing about... He's got this sort of personal history about why he hates, you know, people just... being on their screens now.
Can I ask you a question? Can kids watch it? Because they watched. My kids watched Bandersnatch. You know, the one where you can choose your own journey.
Yes.
That's the first one that's in. And
What age are
this
they?
is brilliant. 6. I don't know. A lot older than 6. And loved it. And said, oh, I've got to watch the others. So immediately went to the first one with the Prime Minister and the pig.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah, social services came right.
And the RSPCA.
So part of your losing your patience with technology is we won't explain why, but you take someone hostage.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Was that you driving?
No. So it's so humiliating. Do you drive?
I do.
Yes, yeah.
Can you not
Well, I
drive?
don't drive. And it is the most humiliating.
Looking for a friend.
It's so humiliating. It's one of the most humiliating things because when you don't drive, they get quite worried because it's all insurance. And when you're playing a driver...
It does seem like poor casting. I mean, you're very good in it.
You believe he can drive.
Yeah, and they come up to you and they sort of try to help you, and then they sort of have to assume that you're just completely ignorant. And they're like, do you know a steering wheel? And you're like, I know a steering wheel. That's a radio, blah, blah, blah. And then they put you on what can only be described as sort of like a massive skateboard, the whole car. And then they sort of drag you along, and you do this. And, everybody's just like, you just don't look like, you know, cool.
Yeah.
You don't look anyway cool.
Going vroom, vroom.
Yeah, vroom, vroom. And then you have to sort of, you know, act. So you can never sort of, you know, look down.
Yeah. Because now, presumably, you love technology, so you must love Black Mirror and all the things
I
that it talks
do.
about.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a genius, Johnny Brooker. And actually, the solution is not far around the corner, because when I'm in America, I have a Tesla, and it drives itself. So it has an autonomous mode. So it's wonderful when you have friends. You can scare the living daylights out of them by being on the freeway, and then they don't see you. You just pull the stalk back 3 times to go into auto drive, and then you just think, oh, I don't know, we've got a book. and they go, what, to keep your eyes on the road? No, I can't be bothered. And I'll look round the back, and it drives itself.
Another one you can do as well, good trick, is if your passenger falls asleep, which I hate, because you've got to do the driving and there's no one to talk to you. I wait till they start waking up again, and I close my left eye, and I just do that. So I'm lucky, it's perfectly safe, but they absolutely... Wake up! How long was that going for?
Actually, Lee, I heard you talking to Charlie Brooker, and you were saying how you don't like technology.
I'm the opposite, Stephen. Well, I'm not good at it. Everything goes wrong with me. Even the simple stuff like the millions of remotes you have to have. We had a babysitter once who came round, and I'm always paranoid that you know, I want to look after them. I want to make sure they can watch everything. And it's not as simple as the old days when you went click. You've got to press this button, and then you've got to take this, and you've got to go to that menu, and then you've got to put that one down and press this. And I must have spent about 15 minutes explaining to this babysitter how to put the telly on, because I wanted her to enjoy the night. Yeah. And we went off, and she rang me 15 minutes later in the car, and she said, I said, oh, I bet it's the telly. It's the telly, I bet you. I said, is it the telly? She went, no, the telly's absolutely fine, but you didn't tell me the name of your children.
As I mentioned chewing gum there, that's one of those shows, it's like a cult. People who like that show love it. I mean, they're crazy about it.
It's pretty wonderful to have that kind of response, yeah.
Because it opened, presumably, lots of doors for you. You got, like, those brilliant episodes of Black Mirror, and then the Star Wars call came.
Yes, which didn't take much thinking from me at all.
Because I mean, that must be one of those weird things for everyone you know. Kind of, you know, what are you up to? Star Wars.
Yes, it gets odder and odder. And actually, I remember going to Black Mirror, and they showed me the spaceship for USS Callister, the episode that I did. And they were like, Michaela, welcome to the spaceship. And I was kind of like, I've done Star Wars, so... I've seen bigger spaceships, I'm so sorry, guys. But it's cute. It's really cute. It's really cute.
There's a new thing in this one, for both of you, the underwater sequence.
Yeah.
Yes.
That looked hard.
Oh, dear.
That was pretty difficult. It was a really technical, probably about a week at Pinewood, because we shot the film here in London, and it was all underwater. It's a sequence where this sphere falls off a cliff, and she and another actor by the name of Justice are stuck inside of the sphere, and I'm on the outside of the sphere trying to rescue them as it sinks, and
Water is filling up the gyrosphere, and at one point we're completely submerged in water, and...
Yeah, we spent, I don't know, maybe a week or 8 days or 9 days we spent in water.
Yeah.
And it was, boy, I'll tell you, they put a lot of chlorine in the water because you've got a crew of 85 people just this pool. No one ever got it. No. People, we didn't have time for people to pee.
So you knew people were peeing?
Oh, I'm certain of it.
Did a look come across their faces?
Huh?
People would suddenly just...
That was good pee face.
That's a good
yeah.
I don't mind doing that again.
Good giveaway. Yeah.
She just made me tinkle a little bit. She did that.
Just mid-sentence.
Yeah, I tinkled a little bit when you...
Well, I mean,
help it.
you pee. You're not supposed to pee in the pool, but no one got out, and I know because I had to be underwater with my eyes open, of course, as if I could see with my eyes open underwater.
Chris, did you pee?
I actually myself. Out of revenge. Time is money on a movie like this.
Bryce, you were in the water.
Well, I was trapped in this gyrosphere, right?
In your defense.
In my defense. I just felt this freedom as I was working, you know what I mean? Like, I just was, like, really present.
You didn't pee. Claire peed.
Yes, there it is. Claire was panicked. Lost it.
Yeah, she's such a good actress.
Scared for her life.
Yeah.
Every time you've said that for the last, like, 7 months, I'm like...
Wasn't my pee.
I'm just so deeply ashamed.
Oh, I forgive you. It's okay.
But I really made an effort to stay as dehydrated as possible.
Yes.
The entire time.
John Hamm, you've always... I mean, here's a picture of you. This is in high school. It looks like an Abercrombie and Fitch model shot. That's ridiculous.
Is that your midriff? Are you wearing a
Right in the middle there, yeah.
crop top?
Oh, yeah.
You're like in a Britney Spears crop
up.
It was the 80s. I mean, what were you going to do? There was a required look, and it was mesh and, you know, cut it halfway across the way there.
Yeah, no, because it didn't stop there. You did cut it, didn't you? You can see.
Oh, yeah. That's on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
That is a look.
Feast your eyes on my treasure trail. Look at it there. Oh, yeah.
I was 17.
I'm sorry, I did that. Because no one could accuse John Hamm, I think, of being an overnight sensation. You plugged away for a long time.
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah, I landed in LA in, I guess, in 1994, 1995, somewhere around then, and proceeded to not work for a solid 3 to 4 years.
I was there around that time.
Thanks for taking all my jobs. Yeah, it was, you know, I waited tables and bartended and did the whole, that whole circuit.
And did you make a deal with yourself about kind of when am I going to say this is not
I gave myself to the age of 30. I figured if that didn't happen by then I guess the market had spoken and I would slink back to the Midwest.
Because even your big break, getting Don Draper and Mad Men, that wasn't easy.
No, in fact, I had to audition something like 7 or 8 times for it. The American network AMC was their first foray into any original programming. So they naturally wanted somebody incredibly famous. I was not that. And so they had to be convinced, and I had to audition and audition and audition and audition and audition.
And did they tell you to your face that they didn't think you were sexy enough?
No. In fact, I only recently heard that.
Like,
but
how recently?
Wait,
Just now. Just now, yeah.
Thank you,
Sorry.
by the way. No, that was apparently they told the creator, the writer and creator, that they didn't think I was sexy enough for the. Well, thank you.
I mean, I'm just like, are they still alive and working?
They're all gone.
That's what I would think.
I had them murdered. No, that, you know, I guess.
Oh, I'm glad no one told you, because that's an awkward call.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, that would be weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it worked out okay.
Yeah. I have not seen Daniel Kaluuya since he won his Oscar.
Wow.
Hey! Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that just a lovely thing, or has it changed your life, or what is it? What is
Pretty
it?
cool. Look at me, like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's nuts, isn't it? Like, I can't even lie to you. Like,
I feel like you're still living your life and walking around London, but you have an Oscar.
Yeah, I remember when we went to a party after, and I was just walking around with the Oscar, yeah, and everyone was just like, whoa. And everyone was just like, everyone just gravitate towards you, and then, like, everyone was just taking selfies. I was just passing it around and letting people take selfies. And
you didn't lose it, though.
I almost did. I almost did. I left it on the bed, but we was having a good time. We was having a good time.
Do we want this story? What are you doing with that Oscar?
Tell us that story. I was having a good time. I was at the party, I was having a good time. It's a pandemic, so we hadn't been out. Oh, yeah. So I hadn't seen people. Like, that was like, I did SNL and that was the first time I'd been outside. So we did the whole press run on Zoom. And so then, like, I was just happy that I was out. And then my friend just was like, you left the Oscar on the bed. I was like, yeah, sorry, give me
the Oscar. So, Paul, are you a natural mover?
I'm a natural dad dancer.
Now, Richard, you go clubbing, don't you?
Well, look, this is a rare night off for me. No, I've never been to a club.
Really? Never?
There wasn't even a gasp from the audience. There wasn't a gasp. The audience just, as one went, uh-huh. It's just, of course, why would I go to a club? I have records at home.
Fair enough.
Do you dance to them at home?
I put them on, and I make sure they're not scratched. So I just watch that record while it's spinning.
Record dances in a way.
I'm basically like a lifeguard.
Emma, dancing?
No. No.
They don't believe you.
No, see, we've got this clip.
No.
I think they do have this clip. You just said no.
Pretty sure we do. No, this is you, and I presume it's your brother, and you're doing a fabulous performance of Viva La Vida, Coldplay song. And the two of you loving your performance. I feel, and see if you can spot this, I feel someone in the house maybe isn't enjoying the performance as much as you and your brother. Here we go. You've got the moves and everything. Oh, not the camera. Yeah. see your father with like a cigarette at the smoke. Was that a fire alarm, or did the neighbours break in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a smoke alarm.
A smoke alarm.
Smoke alarm, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the real star of this is actually here. Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
your Where's your brother? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's all grown up.
Yeah.
What's his name?
John T.
John T.
John T, yeah. We all have the same face. It's, it's like genetics gone mad.
And is that your mom?
That's my mum, yeah.
Oh, hello. Hello. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Doctor Who. Doctor Who. It's a global franchise. Global.
Yeah.
Where do they choose to have the world launch?
Sheffield.
Yeah.
I don't want any patronising claps. It was a glorious day. It might as well have been LA. The sun was out. I was being very warmly received from fellow Yorkshire people going, Judy, Judy, in the way I say my name. So I felt very at home. It was wonderful.
Now, you're not from Sheffield. Where are you from? It's called?
Oh, the town is Huddersfield.
Oh, yes.
And the village is called Skelmanthorpe.
Skelmanthorpe.
Yes.
But now, so I don't understand, but then there's a special name for people from Skelmanthorpe, which I don't understand.
I'm allowed to say this out because this goes out past when kids have gone to bed.
Yeah, it goes out tomorrow.
So, I did know that. So, the name for me would be affectionately referred to as, oh, are you a Shat lass? Yeah, I'm from Shat. And there's Shat taxi, Shat pizza, there's Shat everything. Because the nickname of the village, Skelmanthorpe's really long. But then it's to do with, I really don't remember and the specifics, but hopefully, you know, this is the vague story, but I think in the olden days, there was a quarry and the local trade was people smashing slate. And so they were shatterers. And so then if you were from the village and the workers lived in the village, you were a shatter. And then now, however many years later, you're from Shat. I know, but the thing was, I didn't really realise it, and my boyfriend at the time, now husband, who's from Tucson, got out at Wakey train station and Shat taxi picked us up, and he was like, oh my God. It's going to be great then. Welcome to the family.
The Shat family.
Yeah.
Shat family.
Tucson, Arizona?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Donald, you've worked with the great Tom Cruise. What is it, American made?
Can you do that?
American made. Probably not. No, I actually had to reverse a car in that he was in at the same time as me. And I remember looking down and his hand was on the stick shift thing, and I was like, OK, that's the way this is going to go. I was meant to be quiet. But, yeah, there was a lot of planes in that film, so he, took us up in a plane and then, had the aviator shades on and, put us in, you know, where you drop the plane and you go in zero gravity for a second?
Yeah.
The rest of it? Yeah. And I hadn't agreed to any of that before I got in that plane. It was amazing. And they also, flew a plane, 8 feet over my head. I was standing there.
What?
Yeah.
That's too close.
That's what I said. I said the exact same thing. And we had to shoot it, multiple times. And Tom ended up filming it. It was bizarre. They came up, he was like, this looks awesome. And then he ran away to grab a camera.
Good Tom Cruise running.
Thank you very much.
good.
Thank you. All the way up. And, he went and he grabbed a camera and came back and, sprinted back with the camera and set it up and started filming himself. It was mad.
Your dad, Brendan Gleeson, had worked with him. Did he kind of tell you about working with him?
He did not take my dad up in a plane. I don't... Yeah. My dad would have knocked him out. No. Dad had worked with him before that, but no, I don't think he'd experienced the full cruise.
Yes.
Cruise does everything. He's just that dude. He's
cruise control.
down for everything.
Yes. Aaron Paul, you must be so bored of this. My advice to you is to buy this footage so it never gets seen again. Because have you seen it? You must have seen this footage umpteen times.
What footage?
Oh, you do know.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
get ready if you haven't seen it because it's fascinating.
Well, I was saying, we haven't seen it. I'm sure it's been shown a lot in the States. I hadn't seen it before, right? This is a very young Aaron Paul on The Price is Right.
Some of my finest work.
This is real. This is real.
Who's our next player? Well, let's see what we can do for Aaron Sturdivant. Come on down. Aaron, you're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Wait for it, wait for it.
Look at the CBS bumper sticker on my back.
You're the man, Bob!
Amazing.
Thank you.
But now,
I'm gonna finish my drink now.
we know you're a very good actor. I mean, were you that? You can't have been that excited.
You know what? That was actually a full-blown character. I was on 6 or 7 cans of Red Bull. I mean, it looks like I was on some serious drugs there, but it was just Red Bull. I could not sit still, but I knew they wanted, I knew they would pick people with high energy, and they interview you before you get into the audience, and so I was out of my mind, clearly. And yeah, so they picked me.
And that's him being picked. Here he is. Will he win something? Here we go.
An elegant flat-top desk. Aaron, what do you bid on that?
$1,200.
$1,200. Actual retail price, $1,797.
And did you get the desk? You got the desk.
They gave me the desk.
Good.
They gave me the desk.
And was that it? You got a flat top desk?
That's actually all I want on the show. And that thing was so unbelievably heavy. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Famously, in the last Avengers movie, Chris Evans, former Captain America, he gives you the shield.
Right.
So when you saw that in the script...
That's Chris Evans, by the way.
When you saw that in the script, you must
Random
have
shot of Chris Evans. Like, there's one lady back there. Who is this Chris Evans? Siri, who's Chris Evans?
But did you know that was going to happen?
I didn't. We were hanging out. We were shooting Endgame in Atlanta. And Chris being Chris, he's like, yo, why don't y'all come over to watch football on Sunday? So I come in. Chris is like, oh, man, like, I'm so proud. I'm so happy for you. This is great. And I was like... Because I found your house? Like, why are you... No, I mean, it's just really great. I'm like, yeah. It's a really nice house, Chris. Football, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm excited about football. He goes, no, you haven't read the pages? I was like, what pages? You haven't seen the pages. Oh, no. I said, no. And this is Sunday, so we get the pages on Friday for the rest of the week. Yeah. So he runs away. I mean, literally jumps over the couch and runs away. Right? So I go, and he had this, it was a really cool house. He had a trap door that went down into the basement, and it was a game room. Crazy. But it was the head of Abraham Lincoln. You pulled Abraham Lincoln back, and the trap, it was crazy, right?
There's a lot going on in this.
There's a lot going on. So we go down, and he has all the pages laid out and stuff, and he gives me the scene. And he's standing there looking at me like a proud dad. Like, And I read the scene, and I'm like, this can't be real. He goes, that's the scene. That's what we're shooting this week. You're getting a shield. Whoa. So we literally jumped up and down and hugged each other. It was literally...
That's great, man. I love that.
It's like a real posse. It was really funny, dude, because I was so excited, but I was... Thinking back at it now, I was so surprised how excited he was, because I'm like, you're about to be unemployed, fool.
Now, since you were last here, Chris O'Dowd, Chris has got married. A lovely marriage has taken place. And he's got a picture of you and Dawn. There you are.
I'm on the left.
But there is all that pressure, because, it's supposed to be the perfect day. Nothing could go wrong. So did you get to enjoy it at all?
Yeah, I mean, we really had a fantastic time. And I feel like if I had one regret, I wish I had drank a little bit less. Because, and also the adrenaline and all of that kind of stuff, I don't remember a lot after like 12 or 1 p.m. in the morning, like you know, in the night.
Oh, right,
yeah,
right, yeah.
And right after the ceremony, it's gone. No, and we were talking the next morning, and Dawn, you know, we were kind of post-morteming the whole thing, and we were saying we had a great time, and I said I wasn't too drunk, was I? And she said, no, you were fine. You were fine. And I said I wasn't rude to anybody, or I wasn't dancing on tables, or. And she said, no, you were absolutely fine. You were great. I was surprised that you wore the crown for so long. And I had no recollection. And I was like, no, I wasn't wearing it. You're taking the piss. And she said, no, here's a picture of you. and we have the picture?
Yeah, you brought in the picture. Like... I have to say, Dawn looks awful in that picture.
We had a whiskey luge of our cat.
Oh, was that your cat? I was wondering.
Yeah.
Its head is slightly melted here.
That's right. Well, it's late. I've been sucking the shit out of that all night. That's my best man. And I don't know where the crown came from.
That face is brilliant. That is just such a fabulous drunk face.
Just so happy.
Very good. Now, you'd done bridesmaids before getting married.
Yes.
Did that scare you?
Well, I mean, I've always found women terrifying. So I wasn't so much worried about all of that. I mean, you must... I always remember thinking when we used to do the press for the movie, like, nobody can ever ask you to be a bridesmaid.
I know.
Is that tricky?
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's asked me since I made it, so...
Sure.
Now, listen, you've told us about your hobbies. Gugu is about to shit all over you. I mean, that's not her hobby. It would be amazing if it was. If suddenly lowered a rope and suddenly, whoa, she's off. You paint.
I do.
But, like, properly.
Well, you know, I loved painting growing up, and I did art A-level, and then I just sort of stopped when I started acting because it was so all-consuming. And then come lockdown 1, I was sort of cleaning out a cupboard, as, you know, we all were. And I found all these paints and art materials that I hadn't used for years and years, and I just got them out and started painting again, and it was amazing. It was just really good for the soul, and it was just, like you said, something to do that was really absorbing in a really scary time.
And you did, what, a painting a day?
Almost a painting a day, yeah. I mean, I would sit down and I would just put on some music and just get in the zone, and I ended up sort of painting my friends, and then, you know, I was painting... I painted George Floyd when all of that happened in the US, and I was there, and, you know, I was just really... I just found it a really healing way to kind of deal with what was going on in the outside world.
And is there now a Gugu Babata Raw museum in your garden? Or, like, what did you do with them all?
You know, a couple of them I auctioned for charity. The George Floyd one and the one I did of Breonna Taylor were auctioned for charity. I also did one of Chadwick Boseman, which... a private buyer actually reached out to me on Instagram, and that one recently sold, and all the donations went to Stand Up for Cancer.
Wow. Now, here's the thing. I know people are thinking, listening to Gugu, yeah, she paints. People are going, yes, she paints. No, like, they're good.
Oh.
They're really good.
Oh,
this is that picture you just mentioned, the Chadwick Boseman one. This is that one.
Whoa.
Check en route, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So presumably you're going to keep it up now that, you know...
You know, it's so funny because it was just something I picked up again in lockdown, and then I've just spent the last 6 months in Canada working, and you know, I took my paints with me because I was like, oh my God, what if there's another lockdown? What if, you know, I get stuck in my house again? So I travel with my paints now everywhere. So yeah, maybe you could be my next subject. You never know.
Feel free, start away. I'll be sitting here for some time. In terms of dealing with Hollywood, Peter Capaldi, Oscar winner. He shares an Oscar with you. But you did win an Oscar. Don't look like that.
Yes.
But the story I want... No, the story I want, and it's such a kind of... It's how brutal Hollywood can be. Peter has such a... Well, anyway, tell your story.
I won an Oscar for directing a short film. I didn't know you could win Oscars for short films, but there you are, that happened. Very exciting, went to Hollywood, marvellous, wonderful. And I sold a script to a company called Miramax, who were very famous.
Harvey, yeah.
And they let me, I came back home to Britain and I worked on the script and they were paying me and it was lovely. I mean, I bought my house and all that stuff. And we did it over the phone and stuff like that. And they said, OK, we're gonna make this movie. So they booked me on a flight to New York and I was going to fly over and start discussions about it. I got on the flight, got to the hotel, a big dream car outside, got into the car, and the driver was a lovely guy. I can always remember, he was called Ralph. And he said to me, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I'm just going down to begin work on my movie. We're going to start talking about casting, probably, and pre-production. He said, great. And he said, I have to take you down to the office. I said, yeah. And he said, then I have to wait for you. And I said, no, so you probably don't have to wait, because we're probably going to go for a meal and have some champagne and stuff. He said, no, I've been told to wait.
Oh.
All right, OK. So, but I still think I'm a big shot by this time. So I gave him a big tip. I said, you have that, Ralph, thanks very much. You can wait if you like, but we're going to be a while, probably. And I go into the offices and meet the guy who's in charge, Bob, who basically says, we ain't going to do this. It's over. And that was it. We weren't going to do anything else. We weren't going to talk about production. We weren't going to talk about other projects. It was just over. There was the door, but your driver's waiting. And I got into the car, and I was sort of in shock. I didn't know what to do, because I had no money. I spent all my money. I had no career as an actor, because that was over, because I decided to be a director. And I was laughing. I said, it's over. Ralph was saying to me, what's happened to you? I said, I was going to make a movie, and no, I'm not going to make a movie, and I've got no money, I've got no career, I've got nothing. And we got out of the car, and he gave me my tip back.
That's New York.